All right, today we're talking about something truly ancient, a message carved in stone nearly 12,000 years ago. And it's not just any message, it might just be a warning about a day the sky literally fell. So let's just jump right in with a huge question. Think about this. Could our ancient ancestors, way before writing was even a thing, have recorded a massive global catastrophe? It sounds like something out of a movie, right? But what if I told you there's some pretty compelling evidence that suggests it's true? Okay, so to get to the bottom of this, our journey starts at one of the most mind-boggling places on the planet, Göbekli Tepe. It's in what we now call Turkey, and right there, among these giant stone pillars, is a puzzle that's been waiting for us for 12,000 years. And here it is. This is the heart of the mystery. It's called Pillar 43, but everyone knows it as the Vulture Stone. Just look at the carvings here. You've got a vulture, a scorpion, some other animals, and then, kind of creepily, a headless person down at the bottom. For a long, long time, experts just figured, oh, it's about burial rituals or something, but what if it's way more than that?
Now, to really get why this is such a big deal, you have to wrap your head around just how old this thing is. We're talking about something carved around 9600 BCE. That's almost 12,000 years ago. Just let that sink in for a second.
And this really puts it into perspective, doesn't it? The folks who carved this stone, they were ancient to the people who built the pyramids. The amount of time between Göbekli Tepe and the pyramids is actually longer than the time between the pyramids and us right now. This isn't just old, it's almost impossibly ancient. So, because it's so old, some researchers started thinking way outside the box. They came up with this pretty radical idea. What if the stone isn't just art? What if it's data? And so they started trying to crack what they call its celestial syntax. The big question they asked was, what if this isn't just a bunch of random animal carvings? What if it's a map? A map of the night sky, a perfect snapshot of the stars as they looked to people thousands and thousands of years ago. And that's really the heart of the theory, the idea that each animal carving isn't just an animal, it's a constellation. So, the scorpion is Scorpio, that makes sense. The vulture could be Sagittarius. And they think the people who made this used this celestial syntax to put a date on a really, really big event. Okay, so how on earth do you even test a theory like that? Well, they broke it down into steps. First, they picked out all the key symbols, the animals, the headless guy. Second, they made their best guess at which constellations they might represent. And third, and this is the genius part, they used modern star mapping software to literally rewind the sky and see if that specific pattern of stars ever existed from that spot on Earth. But what event could have been so important they go to all this trouble? Well, to figure that out, we have to look at another huge mystery from that exact same time period. It's called the Younger Dryas. The Younger Dryas is something that has had climate scientists scratching their heads for a long time. See, the Earth was finally warming up after the Ice Age, and then, bam, something happened. The climate just slammed into reverse and plunged a huge part of the world back into freezing temperatures for more than 1,000 years. What caused it has been a huge debate. And we're not talking about a small dip. The change was absolutely dramatic. After things were getting warmer, temperatures just took this catastrophic nosedive before they started to crawl back up again. This wasn't a slow freeze. It was a shock to the entire planet's system.
And this is where our two stories, the mysterious stone and the mysterious climate change, slam right into each other. Because one of the top theories for what caused the Younger Dryas is a comet impact. So the question becomes, could the Vulture Stone be the proof, an eyewitness account?
So the researchers decided to put it to the test. They fired up their computer models and recreated the night sky exactly as it would have looked from Göbekli Tepe right around the time the Younger Dryas kicked off, about 10,950 BCE. And what they found was just, wow, it was astonishing. The pattern of animals carved on that stone was a perfect match for the constellations in the sky on that exact date. The vulture, which they think is Sagittarius, was positioned right where a famous meteor stream, the Taurids, would have been. And that meteor stream, it's the debris left behind by an ancient comet. So the implication here is just staggering. The Vulture Stone isn't just a carving. It seems to be a precise astronomical observation, a date stamp for the exact moment fragments of a comet smashed into Earth, kicking off a 1,000-year winter. And that headless man? Well, he could very well represent the huge number of people who died.
Like the researchers themselves said, it's like the stone lets us visualize the moment the sky fell. It's a really chilling but profound look into our deepest past. Look, a discovery like this, it does more than just solve a cool puzzle. It completely changes how we think about our own history and about the people who came before us. You know, the old idea was that the people at Göbekli Tepe were pretty primitive hunter-gatherers, just starting to figure things out. But this paints a totally different picture. It suggests they were actually sophisticated astronomers who could use complex symbols and track what was happening in the sky over huge periods of time. So let's just sum this all up. The builders of Göbekli Tepe, they weren't just primitive hunters, they were skilled astronomers. And the Vulture Stone seems to be their record of a devastating comet impact, the very one that might have triggered the Younger Dryas. They didn't just write it down, they carved it into a massive monument, leaving a warning etched in stone for anyone who came after.
And that just leaves us with one last fascinating question to chew on. If this huge, world-changing disaster was recorded as hard astronomical data, not just a myth, well, how many other ancient legends are out there? You know, the Great Flood, stories of gods battling in the sky, that are actually real memories of real events, just waiting for us to finally decode them.